Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This time I wanted to talk about something that hasn't even been released yet that has me a bit concerned based on the last couple of weeks from what I've seen, and that is the Dead by Daylight movie. Now, based on what I've seen from the release of the Ice Nine Kills video, I don't think that the Dead by Daylight community is going to enjoy the movie. I don't think they will, personally. I think when that movie releases, there are going to be so many comments about how bad it is, how it doesn't represent the game. I can already foresee these comments coming without a single frame of the movie shot, simply because it's going to be a movie, not the game. And I think that's going to be so rough. That's going to be so rough for the studio, for the actors. That's going to be so rough. Because I look at it like from the the reason why I'm looking at the Ice Nine Kills video from this. Now, I know there are some people that criticize the Ice Nine Kills video thinking that they used AI, even though they have proven without a shadow of doubt they did not. I'm not here to talk about AI. I'm not here to discuss that part. I'm here to discuss the criticism over the visuals overall after it was proven that they did not use AI in the video. Because there is still criticism over the visuals in that video. Say what you want about the character models that they use, or the lead singer being white and everything, and being against Nurse and all of that. Say what you want with all that. The costume, I saw people criticize the costumes that the band wore, saying, well, they should have been this character. They should have been this character. They should have been that character. I saw criticism over the fucking hook that they used in the video. I saw criticism over that. I saw criticism over the Legion cosplay, or costume, I should say, that they had in the video, because I'm not sure. I think it was a cosplayer that actually was Legion in the video. I could be wrong. So, cosplay, costume. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I saw people criticize that when it's a one-to-one version. Like, it literally looks like it was ripped from the game. But I have seen criticism over the visuals to that as well. Like, basically what I'm saying is there's visuals. The visuals have been criticized to every single frame in that video as being not a good representation of Dead by Daylight at all. Just in a music video format, with the very minor creative liberties that were taken. And I'm not talking about the CGI stuff. I'm talking about the live action stuff where the band is playing. I'm not talking about the music. You don't have to like the music. I don't give a shit if you don't like the music. That's not what I'm here to discuss. But I'm here to talk about the visuals, everything that we see from a live action standpoint. Like I said, costumes were criticized. The hook was criticized. The blood being in the video was criticized. There was so much that was criticized up and down. Now, I could be completely off track here, and it could just be because it was Ice Nine Kills that they were getting so much hate, considering there was a lot of people that didn't like the AI aspect of what they did a year or two ago, where they did that. They posted AI picture, then responded to the criticism with another AI picture, and then haven't touched, as far as I know, AI again afterwards. But the reason this has me concerned is I know the movie itself is going to have creative liberties taken. Every movie that adapts from a video game or a book or any other form of media always takes creative liberties. And I am very concerned that when we see the first images of the Dead by Daylight movie, no matter what it is, there's going to be a lot of hype. I'm already hyped for it. I cannot wait to see what they do with it. But I can already foresee people being very upset because it doesn't meet their particular standards for what a Dead by Daylight movie should look like, even in its initial stills. And I think overall that's going to stem from a lot of people that are very vocal that also aren't horror fans. Because as we know with Matthew Cote did say they want this movie to be a horror movie. Flat out horror movie. Not a version of you watching someone stream on the big screen and like, oh yeah, they're working on gens. I can hear that sound. It's not gen ASMR. It's going to be a horror movie. And I think with a good portion of the base being not really into horror, I have seen this on Twitter as well. There's a lot of people that play this game that are not into horror, just not into it at all. There are some that have gotten into horror because of DBD, but there is a good portion that don't give a shit about horror. And they are going to be sorely disappointed with the movie no matter what, because it is a horror movie. And they don't give a shit about the genre. They don't like the genre. Especially if they're not open-minded to the genre, they're not going to enjoy it. It's not going to be something that they are going to be happy to recommend. And because of that, you're going to have those people voice their opinions online, and there's going to be people that play Dead by Daylight that probably won't even ever see the movie that will echo that sentiment, and it will create a negative sphere around the movie as it goes. Now, the movie, I think, is going to be overall financially successful because Blumhouse's budgets for their films are extremely low, like shoestring low. So I'm not concerned about the financials on it, because you know, there's so many people that play Dead by Daylight that are going to just watch it, that are horror fans, are going to go check it out. Not to mention the people that have come to the game because of licenses. They're going to want to check it out and like, oh my God, is Springtrap going to be there? Even though we know Springtrap's not going to be in there, very unlikely. But you know, they don't know that. There's a lot of people that, when it comes to media, they have no idea how any of this works, and they just think that, hey, it's a Dead by Daylight movie. Freddy's in Dead by Daylight. Where's Freddy in Dead by Daylight? You know, like that. There's going to have a lot of people like that that's going to go in. They're going to be probably a little disappointed, but hopefully they end up enjoying the movie regardless. But the people that are not into it, they create that negative sphere around it. And there are people that will sort of echo that sentiment, whether they are already planning to go watch the movie, or there are people that just tend to ride that wave, that wave of negativity. If it happens, just look up Twitter. You can see a multitude of posts that are just like nonsensical, that like, wait, this is a problem? And then people are just all riding the wave of it because the post caught fire. It became something that went viral, and that people are just going for it. So that becomes a thing around the Dead by Daylight movie, which no doubt it will be, not just on one post, but probably quite a few. I think that could hurt the movie in some sense, at least from a fan kind of, like, let's say Rotten Tomatoes, for instance. Now, Rotten Tomatoes should never be taken seriously. Should never be taken seriously. 9 times out of 10, you'd probably want to look at the fan score for it to see if a movie is actually good with its base or not. But we know the Dead by Daylight community here. And I can guarantee you that just alone, let's say Dead by Daylight puts out its first stills, and people get seething over what they see, and then the movie comes out. Or let's even look at it from the sense of, what if the movie comes out of every Dead by Daylight, let's say they hide whatever Dead by Daylight character is supposed to show up in the movie as a surprise. Let's say that. Let's say they hide a Dead by Daylight character in the movie as a surprise. And when that first opening weekend happens, that character is revealed. Let's say that character has an unreasonable amount of hate against them. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's say the character has an unreasonable amount of hate against them through the community for whatever reason. Like, let's say in this case, it's the most popular character in the game, which is crazy to say, with the hate that she gets, Sable. Let's just say Sable makes an appearance in the game, makes an appearance in the movie. Maybe in the end, they maybe you have the characters that get thrusted into a trial at the end. They run down to a basement, and Sable's down there implicated. Like, let's just say that's what happens. They see Sable down there implicating, and she says something to end off the movie, and it's like a little like stinger or whatever, and pretty much the movie ends. Sable's there. They see Sable. Sable's in the movie. There are people that are petty enough in the Dead by Daylight community to organize review bombs on the movie if that were to happen. Doesn't matter how good the movie is. Doesn't matter if those same people enjoyed the movie up to that part. There are people that will literally do that. And that gets recorded. And that gets pretty much put out there. That tells studios, you didn't like the movie. Now, financially, it will make money. It definitely will. So you'll probably still get a Dead by Daylight 2 out of it. But I think overall, what you're going to see in headlines is fans upset. Fans upset at movie. Fans don't like movie. Very similar to what you're seeing with Supergirl right now at the time of recording this. Now, granted, Supergirl has a lot of misogyny going on with that as well. I did hear about a lot of that. I haven't seen the movie myself yet. I do intend to, but yeah, that's a whole different story. But very similar to in the degree that people didn't like it, supposedly. And in that case, the movie's not making the money that it needs to make. Dead by Daylight will, because its budget isn't going to be anywhere near as ballooned as a superhero movie. But I think overall, it's going to be very rough to see, and I think the studio's going to take that in. And overall, when it comes to making a sequel, they might think twice about it. They might think twice, like, is it worth it? I think it's worth will probably depend on how much money it makes. So I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm spitballing the budget here. I know Blumhouse typically does something around like 15-20 million. They don't normally give out super big budgets. Dead by Daylight is not going to be any different. So I see possibly a $15-20 million budget, which means at the box office it's likely going to have to make around like 40 million to break even. If the movie can crack $100 million worldwide, you'll get a sequel. If the movie, and that's with the negative that is almost, I'm positive is going to come. If the movie makes, let's say, 60 million at the box office on a $20 million budget. So ultimately they would have made $10 million in profit on there. They're probably not going to make a sequel. They're probably not, with the negative that will come from it. And a lot of that is going to just stem from those people that will be negative. Again, they will probably hate, especially if the character is Sable. They will probably hate if she makes an appearance in any movie. I don't just mean the first movie. Let's say we're 10 movies in. The moment Sable touches the screen, they're going to hate her regardless. I personally would just rip off the Band-Aid and have her in there. I wouldn't mind having her and Orella show up. Have her, Orella, and Michaela all show up together. I would not mind that. I would not mind that. Or a movie based around those three. Because I think they all three have very interesting stories and everything. Personally, I wouldn't mind that. But I think overall people are going to hate it regardless. I think people are going to hate it regardless. And those same people, you're going to have a lot of people that don't know what they want with a Dead by Daylight movie. And because they don't know what they want, they are going to kind of go in confused, be confused throughout, and leave even more confused because they didn't know what they want. They're likely not fans of the horror genre. They probably play the game and was expecting like a 1-to-1 copy of the game on screen with no real narrative or anything, no real narrative in mind, I should probably say, where I'm expecting the lore from the game being the base of the core movie and everything. That's what I'm expecting. But I don't know. I'm just here rambling at this point. Feel free to let me know your comments down below. Am I right to possibly be afraid of the community possibly ruining a chance of Dead by Daylight's films becoming a franchise all of its own? Or am I spot on with how I'm expecting the community to react, even without a single frame being filmed? Let me know down in the comments below. And I thank you for you guys listening to these unscripted conversations. I know you guys love the Terrifier ones, love the Friday the 13th, the Jason Universe ones. And I know someone mentioned about me being on camera for these. I'm sorry, at the time of recording this, it's 100+ degrees outside. I have air conditioners blaring and it's still not enough. I'm practically naked, sticking to my chair. And I cannot film that because that will get me banned. But thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one.